The reason a police officer will come over and speak to you when he's on duty, he'll come up and say, "Oh, are you alright? You had a nice day?" Or he'll make some sort of conversation. Well, let me just tell you, no matter how nice he or she may seem, they're not making conversation. They're coming over to speak to you for a reason. Okay, no matter how nice they are out of the uniform, the police never switch off. And the reason they never switch off, they never have a day off when they're in uniform or out of uniform. The reason they never switch off is because criminals never switch off, do they? So they can't afford to. So I'm stood in town, I might be with some mates or something, 2 police officers come over, they start chatting to me. Okay, the reason they've come over and started chatting to me is not to tell me how great my clothes are or how big my nose is or anything. What they really want to say is they want to strike up a conversation, because the first stage is, it's called reasonable suspicion or reasonable articulable suspicion. What that means is they are suspicious about something. It could be anything. It could be my beard's too long. Nowadays it could be absolutely anything. I might have odd socks on or not smiling correctly. It can be anything, can't it? So they come up, they start talking to me. Now, they have to have a reasonable articulable suspicion, or reasonable suspicion for short. So let's have a look. What can we say? I've got pockets that are bulging with something. So we're near the shops. So their reasonable suspicion might be, oh, he looks a bit rough. He's not a shave. I wonder if he's a shoplifter. So they come over and start speaking. 99.999% of all arrests and convictions are done by people speaking. They incriminate themselves. Bear in mind, you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to speak at all. So first of all, they're going to start speaking. So that's stage 1. And what they're looking for is they're looking quickly to move to stage number 2. It's a process they have to follow. Now, reasonable articulable... I can't say that word, so I'll just call it reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion is something that they've seen... it's something that they've used their 5 senses for. In other words, they've got to have seen something, heard you say something. For people who smoke weed, for instance, they could smell it. But they've got to have used the 5 senses to have reasonable suspicion. That's what is reasonable suspicion. So they've used the 5 senses. I look rough and my pockets are bulging, for instance. So what they want to do is they want to talk to me for me to incriminate myself just through conversation, so they can move to stage number 2. And stage number 2 is what's called probable cause. Now, until they move to stage number 2, probable cause, they cannot do a thing. So they quickly want to get there. So they're chatting away with you. They'll ask you where you work, or they'll ask you all sorts of things. But really, they're looking for an angle all the time. So until they move to probable cause, they can't do anything. So they're looking for probable cause. Probable cause is the middle one. It comes in 3 stages. You've got reasonable suspicion, number 2, probable cause, and then finally, number 3, the arrest. Now, at no point during all these 3 stages are you entitled to even speak to them, which I now know that. But let's say I don't know that. So my pockets are bulging, I'm at the shopping centre, or it's a busy place. They start chatting to me. They want me to speak and incriminate myself, and then they want to move to probable cause. Again, probable cause, it's got to be something that they've witnessed themselves, or if somebody comes forward as an eyewitness, then that would be probable cause. But unless somebody's actually witnessing and saying that they've seen you do something, they've got to establish probable cause. Now let's say I don't know anything about it, I'm just stood there, I don't know anything about the law, I'm a normal Joe on the street, and what can I say? Let's say something falls out of my pocket from a shop. Okay, he's seen something, whoa, something brand new in a packet fell out. It could be, I don't know, an electric razor in a box, for instance. So they're looking for an angle, and what they'll say is, they'll see it straight away. So they want to move to probable cause, because without that they can't jump straight to an arrest. So probable cause, they've seen something fall out of my pocket. They'll say, oh, have you just bought that? Now, look at the answer I can give. I can either, if I don't know my rights, I can say yes. Now it's up to me to prove that I've just bought it. I can say no. If I've not bought it, then that opens a new gateway to, oh, if you've not bought it, where have you got it from? So all the time going to probable cause. I know it sounds crazy, but this is how these people are trained, and this is how these people think. So let's say it falls on the floor, I pick it up, and he says, have you just bought that? I'll say, well, I bought it earlier. He said, oh, right, where'd you get that from? And I name a shop. And then he may say, oh, right, only we've had a report from that shop. There's been a few shopliftings. Have you got a receipt for it? Now, if I can't find my receipt, which I'm always losing bits of paper. I mean, this is just a scenario. This works all sorts of things. If I can't find my receipt, boom, they've got probable cause straight away. So what I'm trying to say is, from probable cause, they're going to move to an arrest. Now they've got reasonable suspicion, now they've got a probable cause. So when they've reached the stage of probable cause, they are then allowed to detain you on the spot. Now a detainment can last for, I think it's up to 45 minutes. What they're looking for other things. If you think you've nicked one thing, then you may have nicked others. If your friends are with you, it might be a gang. If you look a bit scruffy, they'll try and smell you. Does he smoke weed? He's got his hands in his pockets. Is he concealing drugs? So once you get that little bit of probable cause, it opens the whole floodgates up. Now, if I don't speak to them at this point, and I have been speaking, then it looks even worse, doesn't it? It's like I'm trying to hide something. So, can you see how it progresses quickly through our speech? So, as soon as they hit probable cause, they can detain us on the spot. They're not allowed to move us around, but they can detain us at the side of the road, and then they can search without our consent. So they might conduct a search, detain us, and what they're looking for then is something substantial. So before they can move to an arrest, excuse me, what a bit of wind. Before they can move to an arrest, they've got to establish the first two stages. If they have got enough probable cause, it doesn't matter about people say, oh, it's false arrest or it's unlawful arrest. They don't care, these people. As long as it's backed up with some suspicion, some probable cause, they'll move to an arrest because they can always let you back out and apologise, can't they? So they may detain you on the spot, and then your rights are further gone, and all you've been doing is stood out in town with your mates, you might not have had a shave, you've dropped something out of your pocket, but what gets you there is you are speaking to them. And like I said, at no time during these three stages do you have to speak at all. So I've never spoken, I don't speak to police, I'm at the side of the road, if I've been pulled over in my car, all I've said is about the vehicle, it's tax, test and insured, and that's it. I don't give them a name, and what I say to them is, am I obliged to even speak to you? And they always say yes, but the law is that you are not obliged until a crime has been established. So I say, the last thing I say is, has a crime been committed? Now, they can't tell you at that point, at stage number 1 and stage number 2, they can't tell you that a crime has been committed because it hasn't. All they've got is a suspicion, and they're looking for a cause, maybe a probable cause. Excuse me. So, at no stage do you have to speak. I've been approached, they're trying to get reasonable suspicion off me. I don't speak. Am I obliged to speak? I'm exercising my right to remain silent. Then they can't move to probable cause, then they can't move to an arrest. So that's how it did work. But they've got a sneaky thing now. So remember, at no three stages, even after the arrest, I've been inside prison, I've been interviewed. In fact, I've got 2 nice interview tapes here from a driving offence where they're great police interviews, because all you get is a cop on the other side speaking. They have to give you a copy of this, by the way. And I don't speak. I don't acknowledge, I don't nod, I don't do anything, I don't make eye contact. It's really boring interview tapes for them, but they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing. All they've ever got is what comes out your mouth.